Right, this lesson will give you a little bit more information about Objective 3, and it'll let you touch up on some of the basic tenets of Objective 3. And what we're going to start with is this right here, y equals mx plus b. This is, you'll hear this referred to as y equals, getting y by itself, just y equals mx plus b. But I think what's most important is that you know that this is slope-intercept form. And why this is important to know that name specifically is because when you have y equals mx plus b, when you have y equals, you know two things. And those two things that you know are the slope and you know the y-intercept. It's given to you right there in y equals mx plus b, right there in slope-intercept form. The m, this number in front of x, that's slope. And the b, the number by itself, is your y-intercept. So this is very, very, very helpful. This is very important to know. So let's look at an example. Let's say you have y equals 4x minus 5. And that's just a made-up an example. When you have y equals, once again, remember that's called slope-intercept form, and it's called slope-intercept form because it tells you two things. It tells you the slope, and it tells you the y-intercept. So in this example, in y equals 4x minus 5, our slope is 4. Our m is 4. This is our slope. And our y-intercept is negative 5. You keep that sign with it. This is our y-intercept. So again, when you get y equals, when you get slope-intercept form, it tells you those two things. It tells you your slope and it tells you your y-intercept. This is extremely important. This is great. You can plug this into the y equals screen on your calculator, and we're going to practice more of that later on. But just know that when you have y equals, you know slope and you know y-intercept. This lesson will give you a little bit more practice with Objective 3 problems. We're going to begin with the problem shown on your screen, and as always, the first thing that we're going to do is to underline the question sentence. The question sentence in this problem is, what is the apparent slope of the line graph below? Now we'll circle key information in the problem, and in this problem the key information is that we're looking for slope, and it's of a line. The great thing about this problem is that they give us a graph with a line on it. This is makes this problem very simple, and so let's take a look at it. The first thing we need to decide is whether or not the slope of this line is positive or negative. Now since it falls from left to right, since it goes down from here to here, from left to right, this is a negative slope. So we know that slope we're looking for is negative. So if we look at our answer choices, we can get rid of any answer choices that are not negative. Any positive answer choices we know are not going to be correct. So we can go ahead and get rid of B and C, which is great because this gets us down to a 50-50 shot, even if we didn't know what to do from here. But we do know what to do from here because we paid attention in class, and we know that if we're given a graph, we can literally count the slope. All we have to do is find 2 points where it intersects very cleanly on our graph. For example, this point and this point. And now given those 2 points, we can count how far down we have to go. In this case, -2 because we went down 2. And how far over we have to go. And in this case, 3. So if you say that, -2 over 3, down 2 over 3, you can write it the same way. Down 2 or -2 over 3. And that's your slope, -2/3. Let's go and make sure that's an answer choice. And it is. So our final answer is D, -2/3. Alright, now we're going to look at our next problem, which says, what are the coordinates of the x-intercept of the function graph below? So again, we're going to underline our question sentence. and circle key information. In this problem, the key information is that we're looking for the coordinates of the x-intercept, and if you want, you can go ahead and circle that it's a function. Again, they give us this beautiful graph, and they give us this line, and it's a smaller line this time, but that's okay. They give us coordinates, so if we wanted, we could plug this into stat, but with this particular problem, there's a much easier way to do it. Again, we're looking for the x-intercept, and so again, if you think back, that word intercept means it crosses one of the axes, in this case the x-axis. So we're looking for where it crosses this x-axis right here, the x-axis right there. So the easiest way to do this problem, when they give you a graph, when they give you points on the graph and as part of a line on the graph, is to use the corner of your formula chart and then literally draw this line out all the way until it crosses the x-axis. And now you can literally just count. You can say this point where it crosses our x-axis is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. That point is at 4, 0. Another thing to keep in mind on this problem where it's asking you for an x-intercept is that x-intercepts always have a y value of 0. So what you can do, even before you draw this line if you want, you can, just one second, even before you draw that line, you can come down to your answer choices and you can say that you know for sure, since we're looking for an x-intercept, that your y value needs to be 0. This second number needs to be 0. So in H and J, you can mark those off because your y value has to be 0. So let's go back up to our graph, and where did we say that it crossed? At 4, 0. Make sure that's an answer choice, and it is, and in this problem, our correct answer is F.